Good morning, ma'am. I am Saravana Kumar from first MCSE. Today I am going to talk about the topic date functions in database management system. This there is a title and content. First we could see about introduction to date function. Then some examples of date functions and its queries. First, introduction to SQL date function. SQL Server date function provide you a set of functions that you can use to manipulate dates. The functions are used for a wide variety of operations such as adding weeks to a date, calculating the difference between two dates, or the decomposed to a date into its fundamental parts. There are over 25 different function categorized as date functions in SQL Server. These are some examples of date functions. Category and function. Current date and time, sys date time, sys date time offset, sys date time, current date time, get date. These are the functions of the current date and time. Let's we see about some important date functions and its explains and examples. Add months, last day, next day, months between, local timestamp. First, add month. Add month function returns a date with a given number of months added. A month is defined by a session parameter NLS calendar. The syntax was add month date comma integer. Return type. The return type is always date regardless of the data type of date. Note, if the data is the last day of the month or if the resulting month has fewer days, the day component of the date, then the result is the last day of the resulting month. Otherwise, the result has the same day component as the date. These are the examples and syntax of the add month function. This is the query. Select add month. We insert a date and month from the table. Second one is the last day. The last day function returns the last day of the month that contains a date. The return type is always date regardless of the data type of date. Syntax was the last day date. Return type. The return type is always date. This is a example and the syntax of the last day function. And the query was select last day in between bracket. We will put the date and month and year from the table dual. Third one is next day. Next day returns the date of the first day weekday that is later than the date. The syntax was next day date comma char. Return value. The return value has the same hours, minutes and seconds component as the parameter date. It is the example and the syntax of the next day function. Its query was select next day between bracket what we give a date and one day from table dual. Months between. The months between function is used to get the number of months between dates. If date 1 is later than date 2, then the result is positive. If date 1 is earlier than date 2, then the result is negative. Date 1 and date 2 are either the same days of the month or both last day of the month. The result is always an integer. Otherwise, Oracle database calculates the fraction position of the result based on 31st day month and consider the difference in time components date 1 and date 2. Its syntax was month between date 1 comma date 2. It is the examples of month between function. Query. Its query was SQL select months between. In bracket the first we want to give the date and second bracket we will give the another date in between the months from the table dual. Fourth one is local timestamp. The local timestamp function returns the current date and the time in the session. Time zone is the value of data type timestamp. Syntax local timestamp. Timestamp precision. Note local timestamp returns the timestamp value while current timestamp returns a timestamp with a time zone value. It is the examples of local timestamp function. Query. Select current timestamp, local timestamps from table dual. Thank you. That's all.